Samantha Reeves stood on the corner of Maple and Fifth, the first rays of sunrise glinting off the pavement as she cradled a steaming latte in her hands. Every morning at exactly 7:15 a.m., she made her way from her small apartment to the cafe across the street. Her routine was simple: order a double-shot latte with oat milk, slip out the back, and walk 2 blocks to where a man named Saul sat on a battered cardboard mat. She never called him by his real name, no one knew it, and he wore a sign that read simply, "Bless me with hope." But Samantha did, daily, with warmth, conversation, and coffee. That morning, though, something tingled in the air, as though the world itself held its breath. Samantha's life had become a whirl of spreadsheets, corporate deadlines, and endless emails. At 29, she'd built a promising career as a junior marketing manager, but the long hours and mounting stress had started to erode something within her, a sense of purpose, connection, and humanity. Spotting Saul each dawn had become the anchor in her day, an unspoken agreement that, no matter how chaotic life got, a moment of compassion existed before the first meeting began. Saul had once had a life, friends, family, a job as a mechanic. But a series of misfortunes, an accident, medical bills, estrangement from loved ones, pulled him into poverty's relentless undertow. He still held on to a spark in his eyes, though, a spark that glimmered whenever Samantha approached. He treated her with unexpected dignity, calling her Ms. Sam, asking after her day, and always ending with, "Thank you, for letting me see beauty through kindness." At first, Samantha had worried about whether this ritual might embarrass him. But the way Saul smiled, how he carefully wrapped the cup in napkins and sipped, no hurry, savoring each drop, she realized that the coffee was more than caffeine, it was connection. An exchange of humanity, one person saying to another, "You matter." Over weeks, their small conversations grew. He talked about favorite books and childhood memories, about blue skies over his grandmother's porch swing. She shared hopes, fears, and even the dread she felt every time her phone buzzed at 6 a.m. They laughed together at banal things, how rain dripped off the cafe awning, and occasionally, they sat in companionable silence, 2 souls sharing morning's calm. Unbeknownst to Samantha, her simple gesture rippled across the neighborhood. A barista at the cafe started packing an extra breakfast burrito for Saul. A local dog walker paused each morning to drop off leftover bagels. Saul's cardboard sign changed from, "Bless me with hope," to, "Thank you for your kindness," scrawled in confident letters. One morning, Saul was absent. Samantha's coffee went cold in her hand as she looked at the empty space where he always sat. Concern clawed at her. She searched the empty benches, pressed the cafe staff for news, even left voice messages on a number he once passed along. But Saul was gone. A hollow ache settled in Samantha's chest. She carried guilt. Was she complicit in not doing enough? Had she assumed someone else was caring for him? She threw herself deeper into her work, trying to fill the void. But spreadsheets blurred into empty hours. In her dreams, she saw Saul's eyes, wide with surprise and gratitude, but gone. 2 weeks later, on a crisp Saturday morning, Samantha received a small, unmarked envelope under her apartment door. Her name, Samantha Reeves, was typed on the front. Inside was a single sheet of cream-colored paper. "Dear Ms. Sam, thank you, for coffee, conversation, for seeing me. Words fall short. If you come to 42, Maple Street, back porch, 9 a.m. Sunday, there's something for you, P." Samantha's pulse raced. Was it a trick? A gift? Fear and hope tangled in her chest. She stared at the words until the ink blurred, then reread them, breath shallow. Sunday morning dawned gray and quiet. Samantha arrived at 42 Maple, an abandoned house rumored to be under renovation. The back porch was silent. Her heartbeat thundered as she stepped onto rotting boards. In one hand, the envelope, in the other, nothing. She called, "Saul." Her voice, soft. Footsteps squeaked. Saul stepped into view, but not the disheveled man from the park. He was different, clean, sober-looking, dressed in clothes that fit well. Hair trimmed, posture steady. He held a small box wrapped in faded paper. Salm cleared his throat. "I've been working," he said softly. "Cleaned up, got a day job at the renovation site up the street. They're fixing this house. They let me stay in a small room in the back house. I'm turning my life around." He paused, meeting Samantha's eyes. "You gave me something more than coffee. You offered me belief. That someone cared." He handed her the small box. Inside lay a simple bronze key with a tag, Hope. Samantha felt tears prick at her eyes. Attached was a folded letter. "Dear Samantha, this key is to the back room, now mine to live in. But more than that, it unlocks something inside of me. I promise, I'll pay it forward. I'll help someone else who needs it. Thank you for being the first person to unlock hope in me. Salm." Samantha crouched, voice shaking. "Salm." Words failed her. She put her arms around him. He breathed in her offer of kindness, steady and strong. In that back porch, with peeling paint and scuttling sparrows for witnesses, two people hugged, one lifted from darkness, one replenished by hope. Salm stepped back, brushed dust from his jeans. "I've got somewhere to go now. But I had to do this, for me. And for you." Over the next weeks, Salm kept his promise. He got a part-time night shift and used afternoons to volunteer at a local shelter. Soon, he met another man named Luis, new to the streets, carrying a cardboard sign. Salm took Luis to get breakfast, told him, "You're not alone." He handed him papers and guidance, help, like Samantha had given him. Samantha watched news of a small ripple turning into waves. Salm's story motivated the cafe owner to create a morning kindness fund, enabling free coffee and breakfast for anyone in need. Baristas started posting handwritten notes offering encouragement. Friends of Samantha's began volunteering too, food drives, mentorship programs. One brisk morning back on the corner, Samantha and Salm sat across from one another again. This time, Salm held a cup in both hands, but Samantha's was empty. She'd bought two. He grinned and passed it. "Today, it's your turn to be the receiver." She sipped. Warmth bloomed. And she realized, kindness isn't just given, it's shared, repeated, paying forward across hearts. As the sunlight streamed through maple leaves, lacing their table with dapples of gold, Samantha marveled at how one simple act, one cup of coffee, had reshaped lives. Salm's transformation, the kindness fund, new friendships formed in unexpected places, it all started with a gesture so small it could have gone unnoticed. She closed her eyes, breathing in hope. Around them, the city stirred. Buses rolled, shop doors opened, life began again. But in that moment, two people, once distant lives, sat connected, believing in beauty, gratitude, and humanity. And so, for every person who's handed a cup to a stranger, held a door, offered a smile, you've done more than you may ever know. Because sometimes, the greatest gift we can give is not always measured in dollars. It's measured in hope returned, lives changed, and kindness that echoes beyond ourselves. She bought a homeless man coffee daily. One day he handed her a mysterious letter. It was more than a coincidence. It was a reminder that our smallest acts can become life-altering chapters. In a world hungry for compassion, sometimes all it takes is a cup, a conversation, a belief that someone matters. And that belief can unlock doors, literal or figurative, to brighter tomorrows. May this story settle in your heart as gently as steam rising from coffee, a reminder that kindness ripples, hope is contagious, and every one of us is capable of unlocking transformation. No matter who you are or where you live, your simple act could be the key that opens someone's world. And when that happens, it changes everything. Thank you for listening. Go forth today and unlock hope, with a cup, a kind word, or simply by seeing someone who might need to be seen.